never stopped talking, and that I began to talk well before even my brothers. I just loved words, and I think that's stayed true right up until the present day. I don't think I was naughty at all. My mum said I was always pretty placid, I was very warm to people, like I warmed up to people quite easily. Very social. Even as a child, I was the only one of my siblings that went to preschool, and I was the only one that sort of had sleepovers very early on, and I loved to stay with my aunties and uncles. I think I was cheeky, being the only girl. Definitely cheeky, definitely a daddy's girl, and a mummy's girl, of course. And yeah, busy, always on the go, always wanting to, Curiosity, I think, was my middle name. I think the first time that I did notice that I was unwell was based on the comments of other people, and I didn't particularly notice myself being unwell. And I remember my mum trying to get me to the doctors as just a regular checkup, trying to see how things were going, and I had the sense there was something wrong with me, but I had no idea. And I think that really it speaks to just the insidious nature of anorexia, because it invades your life and you have no idea how. It just becomes all consuming. But I was around 14 years old, and I did go to the doctors. My local GP, who I'd known since I was born, she'd met me when I was only a baby, and she diagnosed me on the spot. It was based on your physicality at first, but also my mental state. I was lost. I was not really speaking to anybody. I was completely isolated. I had lost weight, which is definitely the clinical signs of that, and everyone around me knew what was wrong. And I can remember the GP telling me, you have anorexia, and in some sense it was a hugely liberating, relieving, because it was like, oh, that's what's wrong with me. I felt like my world was falling apart, but I didn't know why, and I felt like something was consuming and controlling me, but yeah, I had no idea what it was. Not long after that, I was admitted to hospital, and they were told, you think it's going to be a quick fix, and as we found out, it went on for years. But looking back, I don't particularly remember any starting point. I do remember slow things, like I think it was my social withdrawal, things like that. And not going to social things with my friends, where any time that food was involved, it was just, I was so fearful, and I lost the ability to sort of relate to people, mainly because I just felt like I was so different. And I just felt like I was the odd one out all the time, and that was really difficult as someone who's only 13, 14, because you're forming all the foundations of your social relations to become an adult, and it's an exciting time for young people. It's the first time that you get to really explore who you are, and you're really growing as a person. And for me, I think that was a huge shock when I found out that I had the illness, because all of that for me just was taken away. So it wasn't just me. I didn't feel like I was Sophie. I just felt like I was someone that had an illness. For me, it was just Sophie, the girl with the eating disorder. And I didn't know how to tell people at school at that young age. There's so many things that are far more exciting, and here I was sort of being told that I had to leave that all behind and focus on a different world, and that was hospital for me. It was nearing my 21st birthday when I came to this self-realization that I needed to change, and I was the only person that could do it. So even after so many years in hospital, I wasn't ready to come to that. And I think often a lot of people describe that with many different situations and a lot of different mental illness, that you often reach breaking point before you can make that step into recovery. And it was such a long and arduous process, but I was so ready and so motivated that there was nothing that could stop me. And the support that I had was just unrelenting. My family never gave up on me. To recover from an eating disorder and mental illness in general, you really do have to just think about yourself 110%. And that's what I think got me over the line from being unwell into wellness, was just crossing that boundary and telling myself it was okay to live. You need to be present in the world. But that came with so many different struggles as well, because I'd been institutionalized for so long. I didn't know how to be present in the world, and it was like being a baby or a very young child, but you have adult sensibilities. And I remember one of the first challenges I set myself was, you're going to go into a cafe and you're going to order lunch. And I had no idea. I didn't know how to, for so long I'd just been on a hospital menu of food that was the same day in, day out. And it wasn't even about it. It was just, I didn't know how to be present. I thought of people looking at me. This is so foreign to me. And I remember doing it and walking away. And for me, that was just something it was just a huge step. And now I look back and I could do that every day now, almost. And it's something that's so delightful and so much that I missed. And, I feel like there's so much time to catch up on. But yeah, for me, I was very lucky to have a family that loved and cared about me and did whatever they could, whenever they could, constantly. And, I'm so lucky now that I can do things with them, and I'm present, I'm there, and I'm me.